Craig Brain is not your brain or my brain. Love it or hate it or something in between. Welcome to the squishy, alien middle inside of this dude's skull. Take a peek. Take a peek.
Welcome back to Craig Brain. We're tracking at episode 20. If you're asking, how many am I going to do? 43. Because I'm 43 this year. And thought, I'm going to do 43 episodes. Call it a day. And at the end, I'm going to put all these in a book. And who knows what happens from there. So I'm halfway home. Episode 20. 2 stories that have led me to understand something a little bit more. And I don't know how you guys learn, how you guys pick up things, but or when certain things hit you and then you're like, oh, that's connected to this. I was flying home from a trip with my daughter, and I'd never spent as many miles that I spent to fly Delta One. This is lost if you don't travel, but it was our 8th grade trip, and we decided to do something really awesome in Washington, D.C. that had nothing to do about school, but it was to go to this dance, TU dance in Bonavera. I talk about it in my letter to Elise on episode, I don't know which one that was, 13 or so. And so we're on the back, and so this trip I put a lot into, and it was just like, oh, I want this to be special, and so I'm a mile, like credit card points and miles and hotel points. I'm going to say it, besides the points guys, if you're geek up on this stuff, they tell you how to beat all the systems and do stuff. But like I'm pretty good I'm great with my hotel points, my credit card points, working this thing to get that. I mean, I've gotten Southwest companion passes from credit cards, so kids travel free for me for the last several years on Southwest. I just love that stuff. Friends of mine that don't use their credit card points, that have like 1 million plus, I don't understand those people. There's just so much stuff you can do with it. All that to say is I had enough if I transferred every point from everything into my Delta account, and I could fly home from DC on a 6-hour flight on the full flatbed Delta One seats. It's like what you would experience on first class international, and there's very few routes that take you there, in the States. So just New York to, I think, San Francisco, and then LA to DC and LA, whatever, you don't care. So we're flying Delta One home, and it's awesome. Elise is like, I could stay in this seat forever. I don't like to fly normally. She loves this. It's awesome. And we hit turbulence, and I kind of got a little nervous. And it wasn't bad, and Elise is just zoned, and she's just loving it. I mean, they even sprinkled the Delta cookie, that little biscuit thing. They put that on the hot fudge sundae that they serve. It was great. And so I was like, no, I paid 120,000 points to fly this. I'm not letting that little bump in the air get to me. And so I asked the flight attendant, and I've flown on a lot of planes. I've never asked, like, how do you just handle this? And she says to me, a lot of people I know that have a hard time flying, it's not about flying. It's about control. She goes, my husband's a pilot for 40 years. I've been 36 years. And it was just kind of like, it's that easy? Yeah, just let it go. They know what they're doing. Like, this is nothing. And I've had like 2 flight experiences that were really bad. Bad. Like almost landing and then shoot the plane straight up. Like, what the heck just happened? And another one where it was literally like felt like out of a movie, where it's like if my seatbelt wasn't on, like my head's on the ceiling type thing. But most days it's just not even that bad. I came home and I started journaling about that and thinking through that, and I really was like determined, I'm not letting this ruin my flight or even showing any, no. And part of that was just pure points financially. Like, I put too many points in this thing to not enjoy this. So that happened. And as I started journaling, it was just about control and letting go and trusting. Another trip in the same month was for my friend's birthday, Matt. And I was actually, this is a week apart. And yes, I'll sound like a super fan, but I'm a super fan. So Matt is a great friend. And he had just gone to this place that I told you about that my wife went called Hoffman. And I wanted to hear about his experience. And it was super geeked up to hear. It was his birthday. So I surprised Matt with going to this lock-in at Justin Vernon's hotel in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where we were going to have, this meal and be able to see Bon Iver perform. And it was only like 50 people. And I'd actually done that before. And it's an incredible I don't say once in a lifetime because I've done it twice. It's hard to get tickets to. It's not that outrageous. But so Matt and I are going there. And I actually got a chance that night to share with Justin the letter that I shared with you guys to my daughter. It was a fun night. Matt sat feet away from Justin, sitting Indian style, playing and jamming on his guitar, and Matt with his long hair and backwards hat, smiling so big. And it was fun as a friend to just experience that with him. And this music's been deeply impactful for me and Matt. And Matt, I told, hey, I'm going to get Justin this letter before he leaves tonight. So we did that. Justin finished, and I know where his car was parked, right behind the hotel, and I waited for him. And when he walked out to his car and he sat in his car and I knocked on his window and I said, Justin, I came here tonight to give you this letter. And he rolled down, his window was down, and he asked for my name. And I said, thank you for helping me connect with my daughter through your music and dance. He was like a giddy child that I was so grateful to hear, and smiled so big, asked me about my daughter. And I said, she's been winning these dance competitions. She just won her first dance competition to the song Creek. And I never would have connected with her or dance had I not watched your video about you and your love for music and how you didn't understand dance either. But now he's gone on to do the most incredible dance collaboration performance. So I just told him thank you. And I had told him, hey, the following week, I'm actually going to bring my daughter for her 8th grade trip. She thinks it's like a trip that we're homeschooling her. So it's not like, it's an 8th grade trip. And I said, we're coming there just to see you do this live. And I get to sit with my daughter, and she gets to see dancing, and she gets to see, this music. And I gave him the letter and let it go. Turns out he comes back that night, and he's just sticking around the hotel. He plays some more songs, and my friend Matt ends up in the urinal peeing next to him. Like peeing next to him. And Matt's looking straight this way because, if you're not watching, if you're dude peeing, you don't look to the left or right when you're peeing. It's not urinal code. So Matt just said, hey, Justin, it was incredible tonight. And Justin looks at him and was like, yeah. And they had this conversation, which ended in a weird, awkward fist bump this way over. And then Matt's sitting there talking to him, and they walk out of the bathroom, and I see Matt talking to Justin. I was like, where did he come from? Why is Matt talking to him? All right, I got to go hear what this is all about. And I missed this. This happened in the bathroom, and it ended outside, and I got there a little late. Matt had told me if I ever meet Justin Vernon, I'm going to ask him one question, and that question is, where does all the creativity come from? And Matt says, standing and peeing next to Justin, getting a fist bump, I had a shot, and I just said, Justin, I just want to know, where's it all come from? And Justin goes, I think he said something like, shit, what? It was just kind of like, what? I can't. Like, I don't know. Like, ask me, like, what's for dinner? You know, it was just like that. Like, it was just like so big and so like. And then he just took a moment and he just said, I guess, trust? Yeah, trust. You just gotta trust. And that night, Matt and I went back to that hotel room after that show, after I got the letter and Matt got his question answered. And we were like two kids at a candy store going, dude, I just like got to tell him thank you. And you got to ask him. But Matt's like, but he said trust. Like, what? Like, I wanted something better than that. And I was like, better than that? Like, Matt, that's it. What about if it's just that easy? My friend Dave and I, we keep saying hashtag too easy. And we do it like that. Too easy. Like, what about if it's just about letting go? That following week is when I flew home from watching Justin and the dancers, which was even more incredible because we sat next to somebody that was cousins of one of the dancers that invited us to go backstage after the event. We didn't meet Justin there, didn't need to. Got to meet the dancers, got to meet the people that choreographed it. My daughter got to see, I think, somebody that resembled her, what she could do one day. And it was such a gift. And then the way home, I felt like on that plane ride was just reiterating what Justin told Matt and a flight attendant told me. Sometimes it's just about letting go of control and just trusting. Just too easy. So on this entry that I'm staring at on my computer, it's called Stepping Out and Trust Falls. And there's a lot, as I talked about last week, of stepping out of XXX Church and not having all the pieces lined up quite yet. But it's all right. Where's all that creativity come from? Where's this music come? It's just, you just gotta trust. And it's fun to watch your kids when they're able to do something that maybe doesn't come as easy for somebody who's 40-something that's been locked in their head, or because of this, and you overthink something and you plot this. But man, when you watch your kids and when they're just kind of free to just go be and express themselves, it's just like, I think that's why oftentimes in Scripture, Jesus talks a lot about just faith like being like a little child, because your children oftentimes don't have as much of a problem as trusting, and they definitely don't have an issue with control. So I've learned a ton. That 7-day window for me to get both it was rich. And I wrote a lot about it. If you're interested, I just urge you to, I tried to put words to what I've learned and how I unpacked both those experiences as I chart into this new season ahead. You just got to trust. That's it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for thinking through Craig Brain. This podcast is only a small summarized part of a larger conversation. To read the full story, check out www.craigbrain.com and follow @Craig Gross on whatever social suits your fancy.